Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're at. There was a topic that I've been noticing lately. Um, this time I'm going a different direction, and this is something that's very important. But I'm going to show you a couple clips that I mean something is going on with Hollywood. Because I've been seeing, and I noticed that there's a lot of good movies been coming out lately. But those of you who have a spiritual ear, those of you who read the Bible, those of you who have discernment, those of you who are connected with God, you're probably familiar with the Marine Kingdom, right? Just bear with me. There's a couple movies that have been played out, and I'm going to show you a couple clips. Then I'm going to go ahead and go ahead. The first one, as you know, is the latest one. Avatar. Here's Avatar. The spiritual beliefs in the world of Avatar. This explains, and I got this. There's actually a website called The Spiritual Beliefs of Avatar. The movie. And I don't know if you can hear this or not.
But let's be real. I can't be at my best if my health is slacking. More people have been hospitalized from Omicron than from any other variant. So I got an updated COVID vaccine. It protects against the original COVID virus and Omicron. I stay up to date so I can stay on point for the ones I love.
As 2022 comes to a close, let's look back at the top movies, series, and characters according to the only authority that matters around these parts, you. This is The Loop. There are two ways to measure how popular a movie or show is on fandom: the total number of page views that community gets, and the percentage of growth that community shows off throughout the year. Today we're going to give you the winners in both categories, because the first tends to reward the most popular established franchise, while the second captures this year's biggest breakout hits. First up in movies, the number one film community in 2022 by raw traffic. You know it, you love it, it's Wikipedia and the Star Wars franchise. Between Obi-Wan, Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Star Wars seems like more of a TV show factory than a film franchise these days, but fans are still flocking to dig up every detail wherever Star Wars can be found, and every detail you could ever hope to know remains on Wikipedia. The biggest grower in film on fandom this year, however, was Prey. With a massive 408% increase in visitors over the year, Prey showed everyone that the Predator franchise wasn't out of juice quite yet. Now on to the biggest series of the year. If there's one show that sent fans scurrying to look something up in 2016, it was Game of Thrones. And guess what? The king is back, baby. Our Game of Thrones TV community was the most visited of 2022 as well, thanks to the proper noun-filled prequel series House of the Dragon. While Game of Thrones continued its dominance, the biggest new show on fandom belongs to another series about extremely pale and moody rulers, The Sandman on Netflix. Fans flocked to fandom all season long, giving the Sandman community a whopping 3,475% boost in traffic. Season 2 has already been announced, so hop over to sandman.fandom.com and start brushing up on your D words. Moving on to your favorite breakout characters of 2022. One character's page absolutely rocketed up the fandom charts: Eddie Munson. The metalhead with a heart of gold shined in Season 4 of Stranger Things, and his popularity is a fitting honor for the guy who pulled off the most heroic guitar solo of all time. If we restrict our scope to just the comic book stuff, the biggest Marvel character of the year on fandom was Scarlet Witch, because Wanda will not be denied. While the biggest DC character on Earth belonged to Peacemaker, which is great news for series creator James Gunn, when...
Okay, the spiritual beliefs in the world defined mostly through the respecting various spirits affiliated with nature, exception of the air narrow mass. Individual nations have regional variations. The Airmans. The Airmans is a society that's centered around monumental temples governed by monastic orders, causing spiritual traditions to be present in everyday life. Spiritual, philosophical, uh, traditional teaches that enlightenment be achieved detaching oneself from the world, essentially freeing the spirit to monks, the nuns, and all life was sacred. Therefore, conscientiously refrain harming the earth, living being, resulting in worldwide vegetation, culture before eating, dinner with family. Tenson offered grace from their food due to the philosophy of peace, arrogance, and not have a formal military. This lack of formal military is conjunction with the power lent as Solzhenitsyn's army by the comet were contributing factors in the extinction of the air nomads. This is a long. Okay, the water. Okay, that's air nomads. But water tribe. Custom traditions, rite passage, maintained through generations due to separation between the tribes of spiritual beliefs. The water tribes are difficult to access, all through spiritual aspects are known. There is a clear reverence of moon, ocean spirits, and sense of origin. Water bending towards the legend will come from the moon. Notice how the moon pushed to pull the tides of the ocean. The people, the water tribes, learn to do it themselves because the first human waterbenders in the northern water tribe lies in the in the spirit oasis, a secluded cove located at the chief's palace. There is a pond middle of the oasis in which two of the fish, Tua and Lewis, swim around each other in a circular course that the oasis is the most spiritual place in the entire North Pole. Although it's surrounded by frozen lands, the oasis has unusual warmth surrounding the trees and waterfall. Although it's this fact of that the spirit portals located in the poles, eventually forgotten, the spirits remain important to the water tribe specifically because of the popular regions where it often first to suffer attacks from the dark spirits in the times of the spiritual decline. Among the spiritual celebrations of the water tribe was the Glacier Spirits Festival in the Southern Water Tribe, purpose of strengthening the ties between the North and the South, maintaining the nation's connection to the spirits, consistently spiritual tribe members, the former chief Ulapaka, whatever that is, to be one of the most hallowed times. The festival accorded to solemn time for fasting, meditation during the tribal. Okay, but that movie was based off of this. The water tribe, the fog swamp tribe, the earth kingdom, fire nation, sun warriors, united republic, four nations, spirit world. So that all this stuff is centered around the practice of Tibetan Buddhism and the Buddhist beliefs. So basically, Avatar was based around that, the spiritual beliefs in the world of Avatar. So that was a reason why that movie was being played. It's a spiritual belief. Now, that wasn't the only movie that was. I'm about to put this together. Okay. Guess what other movie talks about this? But it's simple. Black Panther. Black Panther is a mythical home. That may not be, but they get the stories from. And you know, this is the Black Panther movie.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
I better be careful that I don't want to get no. Try to be reluctant, but we go. That was two movies in the latest movies, because now you're gonna get more in depth of why did I play that, and it's gonna come from the where it originally come from. Also, Starbucks is part. The logo is part of the water spirit kingdom. Here it is. I'm gonna show a little bit of this.
He said, I want a church that is glorified. No spot, no wrinkle. I want a country that is glorified. I want a country that when they come to worship me, nobody have to keep telling them to lift your hands to the Lord, bow down and worship Him. I want a people that will not, amen, play around when I bless them. They will be so happy to bless me. Nobody have to call it.
Sorry about that. I was trying to get to the. Oh shoot! Let me go back. But it was based off of a movie. Basically, that's what I was saying. And so, I'm feel like I was led in my spirit to kind of wonder, because I'm wondering. The question went through my mind was like, wow, they're showing two movies of the Marine Kingdom. And I thought that was kind of unusual. It was really, let me get back to there it is. And so I said, it must be some kind of meaning behind this. So, I'm going to give you an idea of what's going on. That's kind of like a sermon, so a pretty long sermon. But originally the stuff come out of different places, out of Africa. This Marine Kingdom. I was hoping to get more, kind of a short version of it. And how does it play? And those of you who are familiar with this, some of you probably are familiar with spiritual spouses and things like that. That's connected to the Marine Kingdom. But and you heard of movies like The Mermaid. That's part of the Marine Kingdom. Mermaid, any sea creature movies that they kind of slip it, and even though it's a fantasy, but reality is that it's a kingdom under the sea, and there's a lot of people. Some people probably scared to talk about this topic in church. But it's very real. It comes off the west coast of Africa. That's why I believe part of what Black Panther is part of paying tribute to that, to those Marine spirits over there. Especially with the latest movie. There's some symbolicism behind it. It always is. In fact, here it is. Somebody pointed this out from Facebook. The Marine Kingdom and the arrival of the avatars. Wow. Yeah, that one was kind of a long lesson, so hopefully this. But yeah, some of the stuff you see out of Hollywood.
Chapter 1: The Marine Kingdom and the Arrival of the Avatars. Welcome, beloved, to this testimony about the world that is beneath the ocean. I was initiated in witchcraft in the age of 9, and for 10 years I served the Marine Princess Elizabeth and Jacqueline. For 10 years I was doing the bidding of these water mermaid and diva, which was to kill, steal and destroy. I was deprived of feeling of mercy and affection.
Oops, sorry.
Since I was initiated in witchcraft in the age of 1, I had destroyed lives. My soul was feeding on the suffering of humanity. I was the servant of the Princess Magdalene, also called Jacqueline in white magic. This lady of the sea seems like a 37-year-old mother, but she is an immortal fallen angel. As I was serving her, I noticed that she never get old. There is a fundamental and apparent thing about the power that are ruling the universe in the satanic world. The acceleration and speed of their operation in the universe reflect the awareness of the fact that time is finished. They do not have time left before them. They are restless and are acting among the children of Adam with great speed. I remember one day I was among the mermaid and siren in the Marine Kingdom. I asked them about the last day judgment and the lake of fire. The power who dwell beneath the water do not hide their fate and what is in store for them. They have accepted their fate, which is the lake of fire. There is no redemption and salvation for them. Only men that are created in the image of God that have the promise of redemption. In revenge, these forces of darkness are working relentlessly to cause the entire human race to join them in the lake of fire. They did not hide their fate when I asked them about the last judgment. They made it clear to me by saying we all are heading to the lake of fire and brimstone. This is our fate. They told me God is coming to judge all of us and all the spirit in the last judgment. That is why we are working tirelessly to win the world, so that we can go there in the lake of fire with the majority of humanity. Winning souls is our priority because time is finished and the last judgment is at hand. We will win more souls than God, and we are winning more souls. Later they took me to see the abode of the dead in the fire of hell. When we got there I was shocked, terrified and frightened. Beloved, you don't want to go to hell and you don't want to see hell. These things are bigger than human imagination. I was almost a demon, but when the mermaid showed me hellfire I was in terror. I saw huge roaring fire and people in that fire that was burning them. I saw people in fire and you don't want to be there. One of the mission entrusted to me by the goddess Elizabeth was the migration of marine spirit, the migration of mermaids and water spirit of the underwater world to the surface of the earth. The devil is migrating water spirit to the surface to cause destruction. The birth rate of demonic baby is increasing on the surface of the earth. There are many demonic babies coming to the earth these days. They are not human but demons in mission. I was working in this department of migration of marine demon from the Aquarius dimension to the surface of the earth. I was instructed by the Princess Elizabeth and Jacqueline to migrate water spirit to the surface of the earth. I was transferring and replacing normal baby in the womb of pregnant ladies. I was capturing baby in the womb of pregnant ladies and I was sending them to the marine civilization, and I was replacing these human by demon of the water kingdom. They are pregnant ladies carrying water spirit in their womb, not knowing that their natural and human baby have been transferred to the mysterious world under the sea, in the care of the goddess Magdalene and Elizabeth. Thus a new population of demon is being born in various maternity on the earth. There was a lady who was pregnant in my neighborhood. Her name is Annette. Her pregnancy had already reached the 3rd period. One day she came to our compound because she was having pain. She came to my mother to help take her to hospital. It was when she was crying that her tummy was exposed. Immediately I did a magic prayer. As a result, her baby was replaced by a baby of the water world. She could not know about this transfer that had happened. She thought she still had her, but in reality her baby was transferred to the goddess of the sea, where he will be raised as demon. It was when she went to church that the pastor saw in her womb a hybrid monster. The pastor revealed that she was carrying a demon in her belly and her child was stolen. She was actually carrying a marine spirit demon in her womb, and she thought she would give birth to a human, but in reality the baby was not a human but a serpent child from the water kingdom. Thus I was causing pregnant lady to lose their children that were transferred to the marine world, and the water spirit were placed in the womb of woman. I would advise parent or pregnant ladies to always cover your baby that in the womb with the blood of Jesus Christ. Many children that are born in the maternity are not ordinary human, but they are hybrid demon and marine spirit. They are serpent men, fishtail men, and scorpion man, and often people who have already died and continue their life in the kingdom that is underwater. On the other hand, the baby that we were stealing were transferred to the marine kingdom, and they were raised by the goddess Elizabeth and Jacqueline. When these children grow up, they will be sent to the surface on the earth in mission to cause destruction. Many of the CEO of big enterprise and member of the elite of human society and politician are serpent race, scorpion race, and fishtail merman. Thus we were stealing baby from women and transferring them to the water world, where the goddess was raising them. Many aquatic demon are born this way in our world on the surface, and they grow and get married with ordinary human, and they produce a new corrupt race that would never repent. As a result, evil, war and destruction will increase on the surface. The Bible say, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Chapter 1, Initiation in Witchcraft and Journey to a Mysterious Universe. The whole thing started when my father died. I remember when my father was alive we had a high standard of life. Everything was going well. We knew no suffering and no hardship, and we were living in a posh neighborhood in the city. We had a stable life, but the devil striked. In fact, my father died in a mysterious way. I mean, his death was a result of witchcraft attack, but it was when Daddy died that life changed dramatically for us. We were striked by poverty. We had to leave the rich neighborhood and we relocated to a poorer neighborhood of the city, and we began to experience lack and hunger that we did not know, and it was difficult to get accustomed and adjust to that kind of life. My mother had to manage and do something to take care of us. She stood up and began to sell stuff in order to take care of us. When she began to do small business, she was traveling to other provinces to buy goods and sell them to take care of us. In spite of this, very often we lacked money. We were spending some days without eating and we were starving. We were living in a neighborhood of poverty where we were sharing food with my uncle family. There were days where we had to share the food with my uncle family as they were in a similar situation with us. There were also days where we were starving. They were helping us and sharing food with us. I remember one day we did not have food to eat. My uncle's wife brought us food and asked me to eat. I could not suspect something evil considering that we used to share food. On that day I ate her food, which were cassava, but it was when I was sleeping in the night that dramatic things began to happen. On that day I was sleeping when I saw my uncle's wife waking me in the middle of the night. It was deep in the night. When she woke me up, she asked me to give her back the food that she gave me. I found it strange since we used to share food, and it was really late in the night and everybody was sleeping. I said to her, "You often eat my food and I also eat your food. How can you ask me to give you back your food since you often eat my food?" But she continued to insist that I should give her back her food. Then she said to me, "Given that you are unable to return my food that you ate, you must follow me." At that moment I stood from the bed and we went out of the house although it was night. I could not understand that when I stood from my bed I had already left my body on the bed. It was actually my spirit that had stood up. All thing was happening away from the body and my spirit had left my body and that we were in the astral dimension. The food that I ate had already opened my spiritual vision. When we went out of the house I saw that we were moving deep in the water. When we entered the marine kingdom I saw marine beast. I saw people who had tail of serpent. Other people had tail of fish. I saw crocodile people and scorpion people. My uncle's wife, who was called Greta, was a princess of the marine kingdom. She took me in the marine world while everybody was sleeping, and she introduced me to her mistress, who was a water goddess, a diva. The lady in the name of Greta was collaborating with marine kingdom goddess called Magdalene, who is called Jacqueline in white magic. The princess Magdalene was collaborating with the goddess Elizabeth. Both of these water diva are siren of the toilet. They are in every toilet of the world. When I arrived in the castle of the goddess Elizabeth and Magdalene underwater, I could not understand that I was already out of my body and that I have left my body back home, and I was in the astral world in the marine kingdom. When we arrived there I was made to sit on a chair before a table for the signing of the covenant. Then the protocol service of the goddess Magdalene brought the book of covenant and placed it on the table. I was asked to sign a pact with the devil in that book. This was actually the book of witchcraft covenant. I refused to sign because I could not understand what was going on. Later I was brought a calabash of blood and water. I was supposed to wash my hand in the water. When I did that I was asked to drink the blood that was in the calabash. I drank the blood and I signed in the book of covenant. After drinking the blood and signing in the book, the Lady Elizabeth and Magdalene, who were the mistress of this place, said to me, "From today you belong to us. You are our servant and you will work for us." On that day I was handed 35 demons that were supposed to guard me and work with me. These demons were calling me princess since I was made a princess of the world of mermaid. They were always walking with me and following me everywhere. After the initiation ceremony suddenly I woke up from this dream. When I woke up I was seized by terror and I shouted, because the whole thing seems real, different from a dream. Yet I thought it was a dream. From that onward my uncle wife, who a princess of the marine kingdom, began to come to our house to get me, so that we can travel to the world that is beneath the sea. She was coming and whistling 3 times. Given that my spiritual eyes and ears were opened, I was hearing her calling me through her whistling. As a result I was rising from my body. The moment I get out of my house I was automatically in the plane. Let me make it clear that plane of the astral and the marine kingdom is much more advanced than that of the physical world. Technology come from the marine civilization. Flying craft and plane of the night are really sophisticated. Thus every night when a human sleep there are flying craft and interdimensional engine flying in space. Every night my uncle wife, the Princess Greta, was coming to get me and we were flying in the marine world. It was then I began to cause destruction. Chapter 2, the parallel between the marine world and the terrestrial world. As I was traveling to the water world, the goddess of the sea Magdalene required that I get married. Actually, in the night in the marine kingdom I was an adult and a big lady. Yet in the physical world, on the surface, I was a very young girl. Given that I was a big lady in the marine kingdom, I was required to get married and form a family in this mysterious world. I got married in this world of mermaid with an inhabitant of this magical and supernatural world. The bridegroom was a human spirit, and I had children with this man, and these children are still alive in the marine world. Considering that they are demon, they only live in the marine world, yet I was living in 2 worlds. In the day I was living in the terrestrial world, and in the night I was living in the marine world. Since I came to Christ I am separated from these children that I delivered in the water kingdom because they are demons. When I had my first child in the marine world I noticed that the implication of my maternity and fecundity was manifested in my terrestrial body. I was even breastfeeding in the marine world, although I was a young girl in the day. In that world I was married and I was having sex like a normal married woman, but in the day I was just a girl. Consequently my virginity in the day was affected by my marriage in the marine world. The world of mermaid is so advanced that they can take an African and turn him to a Chinese. They can take a Western and turn him to an African. The nature of this magical world in the sea is such that it is difficult for the devil agent to abandon dark practice. This world of mermaid is a civilization built by fallen angel. It was an attempt by those who have fallen from heaven to replicate or copy the structure and architecture of heaven. The marine kingdom is physical and advanced civilization that is sophisticated and computerized. It is an ancient world where new media, mobile phone, satellite technology originated from. There are golden houses and roads, infrastructure and advanced technology in this mythical and fantasy world of the Satan. The initiation in occultism opened my vision to the unknown and macrocosmic reality hidden to natural men. Often when I was walking in the street I could see different kind of human being. I could identify fellow witches and occultists thanks to their mark and symbol of identification. I could also see a human being who were water spirit. I could identify physical demons who were born on the earth in a human family. I could also identify a human who were Christian since they had the mark of Christ on their forehead. In Revelation 7 it is written, I saw another angel ascending from the rising of the sun. having the seal of the living God. And he called with a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to damage earth and sea, saying, "Do not damage the earth or the sea or the trees, until we have marked the servants of our God with a seal on their foreheads." In the spiritual world, the servant of Satan and the servant of Christ have marks, seals, and signs on their forehead. Christian have stars on their forehead that is shining. When I was a witch, often when a serious Christian is coming in the street, I had difficulty to watch his face because of the light, and most witches avoid and deviate from believer because of the light flowing from them. The more a Christian is living in holiness and prayer, the stronger his light is burning and shining, and witches in the street would deviate in the face of that kind of believer in order to avoid the light emitted by this believer. It is an unbearable light that surround them and flow from their forehead that demons and witches avoid. And in order to come after a believer, demons and witches will always try to put out that light through sin, which can extinguish it. Christians are not supposed to fear witches because witches fear them. However, my estimation is that 30% of the believer had strong light and flame of fire covering them, 70% of the believer have their light turned off because they live according to the flesh. Keeping the word of the Lord cause Christian to shine and be enveloped with flame of fire. There are churches of occultic pastors that steal the star of the members. They use them for themselves. When you attend a false church, the occultic pastor may steal your star and use it. As a result, you will be in hardship because your star has been used by your pastor. When I became witch, I was able to recognize other witch and occultists thanks to the marking. Each witchcraft brotherhood in the night have their mark and symbol to differentiate the temple of their belonging. I could also see false pastors, as they are marked with satanic symbol. When I was walking in the street, I could also see people marked by the spirit of death, with the mark and symbol of death. These are dead men walking. These people are walking around the city, but death is following them. I remember when we went to live with our auntie, I noticed that some of her children were already in witchcraft, but she did not know that her children were witch. My auntie was a courageous lady. She was selling animal meat and making a lot of money, but she was unable to do something consistent with her money because of witchcraft. I would like to advise you to pray before you receive someone in your house. You must know the spiritual identity of the person you are receiving. Otherwise you will be devastated. In witchcraft I was bewitching even people who gave me money. Therefore, when you want to give someone your money, you pray for it. Chapter 3: The Destruction of My Family. When I became an agent of the Marine Kingdom, the great lady of the sea who were my master instructed me to cause destruction in my own family. I said no, and in response the water princess began to harass and threaten to kill me. They made it known to me that I will die unless I comply to their injunction. These water spirit pressure me against my will to attack my own family. Firstly, I was supposed to transfer witchcraft to my brother and sister, even my niece and nephew. And when I have managed to spread witchcraft in the family, one of the niece revealed that I have spread black magic among the children of the family. As a result, the family was divided and my mother came under attack and insult of the whole family. Her relationship with her brother and sister was destroyed. Then the Tsar Elizabeth and Magdalene instructed me to go after my mother. I was instructed to stop her from getting married. I was supposed to remove her beauty and keep marriage away from her. First and foremost, I had to destroy her skin and block her marriage so that no man will court her. Later I deploy a spirit singleness over her. On top of that, I destroy her skin by attacking her with a skin disease that left her skin destroyed. She began to have skin problem and medical drug could do nothing against that sickness. Moreover, I put a mask of oldness and ugliness in the face of my mother so that no man would marry her. As a result, in the day when she was walking in the street, no man was interested in her despite the fact that she was an attractive woman. This is the case for many beautiful ladies that cannot marry because of witchcraft manipulation. The goddess Elizabeth and Jacqueline had instructed me to destroy my mother beauty to stop her from getting married. My mother was in some kind of embargo. She was monitored and she was blocked in every attempt and effort in her life. Many people, even believer, are under embargo in the spiritual realm. My mother was like that until the man of God prayed for her and the skin problem ended, but she did suffer. Moreover, I was sick all the time. That sickness was actually the spirit of spending and waste deployed against my mother in order to bankrupt his business. Every time my mother had money, the dark world was ordering me to become sick so that my mother would spend all the money in my sickness. My mother noticed that my sickness was recurrent and was becoming a threat to her business, which enabled her to take care of her family. Given that her husband was dead, her business was the only means by which she could support her family. Thus, she decided not to spend any more money on this sickness. My mother was a businesswoman and a seller, but I went on to confiscate and capture her money and block her business. As a result, she went bankrupt. I also blocked her marriage and I put a mask of oldness and ugliness on her. Although she was beautiful, no one wanted to approach her for marriage. It is true that she was my mother, but the dark world has laws. Once you become a witch, you are no longer bound to your family. They are no longer your family. Your family are member of your brotherhood. Those who are not member of your brotherhood and those who are not witch are regarded as cattle and animal. They are food of the Satanist and witches. At a certain point, my witchcraft was no longer a secret. Almost everybody in the neighborhood knew about it, and I was ashamed to walk in the neighborhood because people were pointing to me and saying, "You are a witch." I was stigmatized and rejected in the neighborhood. My mother was hiding the fact that I was a witch, but her sister and brother were telling everybody, and it was shameful. I was beautiful lady in the marine kingdom, but I was ugly in the physical world. Many of the children that are in witchcraft have appearance of ugliness because they are beautiful in the spirit world. I caused my sister to be influenced by the spirit of fornication and sleep with men. I was sent to carry out these assignments by the princess, and I had to obey. Every time I refused, I was threatened by these ladies. They said, "Unless you obey, you will be killed. If you don't do as required of you, you will die." Thus I had no choice. Chapter 3: The Reaping of Human Souls of the Unbeliever. When I began to work for the Mistress Elizabeth and Magdalene, immediately I began to cause great destruction. I have destroyed more than 70 people in this practice. Once a man or woman is identified as target, I mean I was walking after the targeted person and I was collecting his footprint. The moment I collected the footmark of the targeted person, I want to
stop right here before I go on. And I want to encourage you. Now you see the difference between being just an average Christian and being a son of God. Because the sons of God got to deal with stuff like this. But before I read these scriptures to you, I want you to copy them just in case they come in your dreams or you feel like you're being attacked. So I'm going Isaiah 49, verse 24 to 26. Shall the prey be taken on the money lawful captive delivered by those said the Lord? Even the captives of mighty should be taken away, and the prey the terrible should be delivered. For I contend with him that commandeth with thee, and I will save my children, and I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh, and they will be drunken with their own blood, as sweet wine, as flesh should, that I, the Lord, am the Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. And Job 26:5, dead things are formed under the waters, and inhabitants thereof. Every spirit living in the water is known as a marine spirit. Marine spirits are the greatest kingdom of the evil, all evil demonic kingdoms. The marine kingdom is one of the most wicked, most populous, well-organized kingdom. It exists in the earth, air, land, and outside the planet. The headquarters of the marine kingdom is located within the Indian Sea, and the Queen of India Sea is the head of the marine kingdom. While Queen of the Coast is next to the command, she resides in the Atlantic Ocean. Both are also among the fallen evil forces from heaven before. So, but here's more of an article, and I got this off of just in case anybody is interested, off of this. Just tell you more about it. But I want, before I go in, and so that's what they do. But if you're a believer, you don't have to worry about that. Because when you have a covenant with Yeshua, better known as Jesus, it shows. and that kingdom rules. But when people was in that kingdom, they go, if they don't, if they die a witch or a Satanist, they go into that kingdom where she talk about.
Doing a magic prayer and I was blowing the sand in the air. The person will go home and would develop a health problem. The hospital would not be able to cure this sickness since it is of mystical origin. As a result, the person would die. You must understand that in this world we human are living side by side with infernal beast, serpent and scorpion, though they are unseen. If you don't have Jesus in your life, you are unsecure and you can be destroyed anytime. Security is Jesus Christ. I was collecting people footmark in the street in order to destroy them. I was also capturing people's star, people destiny and blessing thanks to their footmark. Many people are in hardship as a result of witchcraft, conspiracy and manipulation. On the other hand, I could not collect Christian footmark because it was fire and it was disappearing. Thus, through people footprint, I could capture people chances and people's soul. When I became a witch, there were physical change in my appearance. I mean, there were degradation of my appearance. I lost my beauty and became ugly. Chapter 4, Seduction. The rise of marine spirit and the destruction of family. Beloved, I would inform you that there are periods in the year when the marine world send aquatic demons and water spirit in physical form on the surface of the earth with mission of causing destruction and collecting human souls. They are handsome men and beautiful women with beautiful car on the surface of the earth. They go in the weekend to nightclub, bar and hotel, causing great destruction. I remember an instance when the marine world sent many marine spirit who came to the surface of the earth in human shape. I saw as they were assigned and instructed each to kill a specific number, and these water spirit were given enough money in order to achieve their destruction. These people looked human, but they are demons and they are here to reap human soul. There were instances in the marine kingdom where I was transformed to an adult young lady for assignment on the earth. I had to go through physical transformation, thanks to which my height was extended. I was given a body shape that would attract man attention and cause seduction. I was really transformed and given seduction appearance, and then I was deployed on the surface of the earth for destruction of men and married men. I would land on the earth in a specific point in the city. I was in a short skirt and I was attractive because I was dressed sexy and filled with the spirit of seduction to lure young men. I was irresistible. Wherever I walked, men were following me. When I became a servant of the siren, I was given another identity and I was called Jessica in the water world. Thus I was luring men to hotels in the city, and once we arrived in a hotel, it is when men were trying to touch me that I was operating transformation. I was turning to a beast before them. As a result, these men were going to coma and cardiac arrest because of emotion, and when these victims were shouting in emotion, I was turning to a mosquito in order to escape hotel's guards. The moment a victim died, the demons that were accompanying me were capturing his soul and taking him to the prison of the marine world. The victim were deported in captivity in the marine kingdom, where they were turned to slave and maid. These captives were imprisoned and treated like slave and cattle. Every servant of Satan, whether he is a witch, a wizard or a demon, they are all soul winner. The battle in the unseen world is all about the souls of men. It is true that pastors are not interested in winning soul, but understand that demons are soul's winner. Satanists are soul winner. I was a soul winner. The conflict between light and darkness is all about the souls of men. When I began to serve the devil, I was given 35 demons that were walking after me. They were like a procession, and I was the princess of the water world. I want to warn womanizer that water spirit are more beautiful than human, and when they land on the earth, they distinguish themselves with their beauty and seduction appearance. When you call them, they will not refuse because they are on mission to collect souls of men on the earth. I remember a day in a marine universe when old men who were witch were turned to beautiful and handsome men, and were sent to the surface of the earth to seduce women. Understand that what you see with your eyes is not what it is, because old people and old women were given attractive and beautiful appearance in order to reap the soul of women who were after men for beauty and money. These old men appeared in the surface of the earth with good cars because they are in mission to attract women. Many women are attracted by men that are driving good cars. Women of the water world land on the earth without cars because they have to do catwalk in the street to attract men. They are supposed to walk in the boulevard in order to seduce men's eyes, and weak souls will be reaped. These agents of mermaid move in the city with good cars, and when women see these cars and hear the word of these men, they would not resist. In reality, a lot of beautiful car you see in the street are cans of processed food. We are talking about the manipulation of 5 senses. Human eyes perceive cars, but with spiritual vision they are something else. In the marine world, these cars are processed food, cannons, shoes and coffin. There was a man who were begging the marine world to transfer his physical property in the material world because he was rich in the world Satan and poor in the material world. One day in the world of Satan agreed to send his possession to the earth. This man witnessed how all his car, house and goods were transferred on the earth, but when he came back to the earth, he saw a huge bin in his compound. The neighborhood was in shock to see such dirt in one place. You should be warned about beautiful man and their beautiful cars. Chapter 5, The Destruction. I was given water world beauty in order to dislocate family, and I have destroyed so many homes. I was so seductive that once I seduced a married man. He was completely controlled and was doing whatever I was telling him. These men went on to chase away their wives for me, hoping that I would replace them. They were under manipulation. I was just in mission. Every time a family is dislocated, I was abandoning that man. They are women of the water world destroying homes. Many men are under the influence of mermaid. Therefore, women must learn to pray for their family and their husband. When a family is dislocated as a result of witchcraft manipulation, there will be anger and hate, so much so that these people will be separated forever, with no desire of coming back again. When you are a woman and you discover that your husband has cheated on you, you should not be quick in causing trouble, because the devil objective is divorce and he is deploying his servant with seduction power, and your husband may have come under seduction and the manipulation. A woman must pray for his husband because the devil wants separation. Chapter 5, The Siren and Fashion. The Marine Kingdom is a strategic physical civilization that is coming up with new ways and new method to destroy the souls of men. In order to bewitch and curse the world population, fashion and design has been identified as one of the main factors by which control and manipulation would be perpetrated against humanity. People on the surface, men and women, are so much attached to fashion and vanity, thus we were designing clothes. I mean fashion clothes, and we were sending them to the surface. These popular and global brands are attached with water spirit, and every time men and women adopt the trend, the style and the fashion, they will come under manipulation. We were also designing necklace, earring and jewelry which were attached with the spirit of fornication, rebellion and vanity. People put clothes and jewelry, but they don't know that these items and article modify their personality and cause them to behave in a perverse way. These clothes and jewelry go through ritual and ceremony, and they are cursed. In the Marine Kingdom, Alash are designed by mermaid. Shoes are also designed by mermaid. Most of ladies' items are made by mermaids. These items are enveloped with power of seduction and cause perversion, so that men will not resist. Siren have power of seduction. It is difficult to watch them in the Marine Kingdom. Artificial hair are designed in the marine world by sirens. In the end time, human are consuming items designed in the world of Satan that are bewitching and destroying them. Items designed in the water world reduced 5 years in the life of people who consumed them. People are eating food which origin is unknown. When you fail to pray before eating, you will suffer manipulation. When you fail to pray for clothes and items that you are buying, you will suffer manipulation. I have been in the marine world. That is why I don't just eat anything. I know clothes brand produced in the marine world. Chapter 6, The Marine Kingdom and Pagan Holiday and Feast. The marine world is waging war against the Church of Jesus, and in times of distraction and pagan feast like Christmas, New Year Eve, Saint Valentine, Easter, believers should not celebrate all these feasts that the world is celebrating. These pagan holidays are demonic. These feasts are a period of intense demonic activity. Normally, children of God were supposed to be in attitude of prayer during these feasts. When you are living in distraction like the world, you may fall victim because demon would be reaping human soul during these celebration and pagan feast. Actually, before any pagan feast and celebration like Christmas, New Year Eve, Easter, the God goddess and siren, we were putting in production new fashion clothes and new trend. The industrial complex and manufacturing industry of the marine civilization would be busy working in order to release new fashion and new trend of clothes in circulation on the surface of the earth. Thus new shoes, new artificial hair and new men's style and trend will be released and put in circulation during celebration of pagan holiday. These items are attached with demon. We were upbeat to release TH, because we knew that even the children of God who have not separated from the world trend and fashion will be celebrating these pagan holiday, and they will run after the trend, the fashion and style. In fact, children of God are the priority and they are the first target of the marine world. These items were tools and channel of manipulation. We were removing 5 years of Christian that is attached to pagan feast and fashion. We were also removing people years when they are celebrating pagan feast. Beloved, the world beneath the ocean is exactly the same with our world. There are massive and advanced infrastructure. In the marine kingdom we have demons and human agent that are tailor, modelist and couturier, and world-renowned modelist and fashioner designer of big brand descend to the water world. The world that is under the ocean is a physical kingdom. It is an ancient and advanced civilization built by those who have fallen from heaven. Let me remind you that the food we eat on the surface are processed in this marine world of the siren. The clothes we wear in the surface and the technology we use on the surface come from the oceanic civilization. Chapter 4: How we were blocking people in Europe and America.
That's how it's operated. So it's real. But that's just a testimony. Here's some exposure videos. Oh. But what you think? It's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real. It's realer than you can even imagine. That's when I think about those movies and everything, it's centered around that. Like Black Panther, Avatar, there's some spiritual meanings behind those movies. So when you, even though it's a fantasy, reality is the meaning. Hollywood does something always behind certain movies, especially when it comes to something like that. Avatar and this Black Panther. This Black Panther and Avatar was about the Marine Kingdom, but they put it in plain sight. So it's telling a story from a fantasy point, but look at the creatures. Look at the creatures in Avatar. They symbolism. Creatures are like mermaids and different water spirits. So that's what you're entertaining. So be careful what you entertain. Be careful. Say your prayers. Some of you get a relationship with the Most High God. I believe I was led to show you this. You need to know why you're having strange dreams. Why you might be going through some crazy accidents. Because some things are operating in the world. Like I had something recently I put on the video. Something supernatural manifested in my house. But when I went to, it was like a spider. It was big as a spider, and it was like this. And when I went to, you know how, well, you know when you step on something or detect that something's there, it usually, you see it run or it goes somewhere. I heard and stepped on it, and when I go to pick up my shoe, there was nothing there. So, it's real. And I believe that was sent. And that's why I did the video. where I looked like I was blowing my shofar because I did it at that person and let that person know, I know what you did. And I stayed in prayer for a day and a half or so and sent that stuff back to the darkness. So you have to send, so those of you who are believers, you need to know about this. And that's why you need to stay in prayer, because that's how they operate. And these people operate around 12 midnight to 6 in the morning. That's the witching hour. That's when they gain more power. And in fact, that's when Most High is going to give more powerful revelation that way too, to shut that down. So I hope that this was really enlightening to you. I hope it was educational. But yeah, this stuff is real. It's real, and I believe that. And like some people that mysteriously die, you don't know why they died, whatever, or they met somebody and they died. It could have been somebody could have been sent in form as a woman. It's in case like as a man, you don't know, because every year something manifests from the pit of hell, and then in that case from the pit of the ocean, which is the segment of Satan's of the kingdom. To link to satanic kingdom. So that's why I said it's more than just, it's not having a relationship with Yeshua is not just something religiously. It's something spiritually, because he's protecting all of us from that. His kingdom is protecting. His kingdom of angels are protecting us from all that stuff, because they come through the atmosphere. And when you have a prayer life, it's shut down just like that. But I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope this is just like and share with somebody, but just to kind of like somebody. And that's why I said that's why it's important to get your life with the Most High God through Yeshua, better known as Jesus. That's why, because you never know. We all on mercy and a prayer, and this is very important. That's the message I basically is, because there are people operating in towards Ephesians in high places. That's the high places. That's one of the high places. So my name is James. I hope you guys take it easy. Share it, like it, share with the family, and be educated. This is something that even your children should know, and have God to kind of teach you and show you. He will. He'll lead you to the right scriptures. Until next time, take care.